Hi there, hello, we're going to talk about some design patterns, so please, come on in. My name is Jeremiah, and I've been making games for around 12 years at this point, and I've never looked into design patterns before. Yeah, I've been a professional programmer for quite some time, but I never read about them. Over the years, I've heard a couple of opinions surrounding this topic. The one that struck me the most was that you have to learn about them to get a job, and I don't think we should really care about them that much. As you just heard, I was doing fine without ever reading about them. And what's more, I think it's a better approach to just ignore them. But let's explain some concepts here. Software design pattern is a concept with a set of rules and ideas that define how you write some features of your code. The most common and simple example would be a singleton, a class that has a static accessor to its single instance in the code. Another low-hanging fruit would be lazy initialization. You only create the data when you need it and cache it for later use, very often used together with a singleton. However, there is a ton of design patterns out there. Here is a list of all that I could find. Being a programmer for this long, I thought it's finally time to go through all of them. And I mean all of them. Every single one. And honestly, it wasn't really that useful. So, what do you mean? Should we not learn about design patterns? Well, yes and no. For instance, if you are a junior programmer or learning to become one, you should fully ignore them. When I was reading through all of them, I realized I understand them only because I had prior experience with them. And in some cases, I couldn't understand them even though I had an experience with them and used them a lot. Yeah, you. Basically, you first need to encounter a problem that the pattern would solve to realize its usefulness. Imagine this scenario. You'll learn that there is a possibility to pass a function into another function as its argument. On its own, it sounds like a cool concept, but not necessarily that useful. Usually, when you call the function from some scope, you would pass the function as an argument to it from the same scope, meaning that you could just call it next to it. So, what's the point in ejecting it? You are yet to stumble on a problem that this could solve. But if you have been programming for some time, you probably stumbled upon this issue. You want to sort over an array of elements that are not primitives. In most of the cases, you will pass a predicate as an argument to the sort function that will handle the sorting of the elements. Congrats, you have just learned about dependency injection and now have a real-world problem that this could solve. It has many more uses and labels like command or scheduler pattern, but you are yet to understand their problems. So why learn their solutions? I believe that learning about the pattern before understanding the problem will quickly bite you. It's really easy to fall down the spiral of following good practices, like Solid for example, without really understanding what they are trying to fix. Hey, but maybe you've been programming for quite some time and feel fluent in hitting yourself in the head with a rake. In that case, I think you could learn a thing or two from design patterns. But you still shouldn't read about them. What the fuck do you mean? You shouldn't seek the knowledge of all design patterns only to find a solution for your specific problem. What you should do is find how other people solve similar problems to yours. And in most of the cases, they point you in the direction of a pattern that fits your use case the best, even though they probably won't call it a pattern. Don't get me wrong though, if you're curious and want to learn about them for the sake of it, I think it's alright. I myself found some cool ideas when reading about them, like a null object implementation that I probably will never use, but my toolbox is a tiny bit bigger now. My point is, do not seek them as something that you must learn. They will come to you. And what's more, I think you'll learn better practices during the code reviews in your first job once you land it. My research progress has been streamed live on Twitch. If you're interested in what I'm working on right now, come hang out. And if you just want to argue with me about design patterns, come hang out anyway. We've even made a bit scuffed tier list of design patterns when looking into this topic. F tier at this point is just those aren't patterns. Those just suck. Template method. Usually I'm more focused on game dev though, so if you're interested in that, check out my other videos. I'm currently working on a horror game, like kind of Lethal Company but in Unreal Engine, so wait for our devlog soon. See ya all in the next one.